everybody that's into flat Earth, it was very hard for them to get into it and admit it. It took like a year and a half for them to admit it.
Well,
I
I
wasn't
felt like
into,
that.
I was violently opposed to it. But the one thing about flat Earth, punching flat Earth on YouTube, you're gonna get all the debunkers. And like, why is there so many people working against it? It's crazy. They're doing the exact same thing to flat Earth that they do to 9/11, JFK, Iran Contra. They got people producing debunking videos. Like, why are you doing that if it's so stupid?
It's not. It's so stupid.
Why, you should ask yourself, why is there a debate about it? How is there a debate still in this time with the internet? Why are people, and there's so many people that are afraid to admit that they're looking into flat Earth because the amount of ridicule you get. You know what I mean? I was quiet about it, but I was against it. I was trying to, people kept coming up to me like, have you looked into flat Earth? I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're crazy.
This is like a couple of years ago. I'm like, shut the fuck. Joe, I was on Joe's podcast and he would bring it up because people are so dumb. There's some people out there still believe the Earth is flat. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are they really? There's people like that? And this was just a few years ago.
And now you're
then I kept trying to debunk it. Like I would get an argument with people, and that's the typical story. Everyone's trying to debunk it. The one thing that made me realize something was wrong is I always believed that the moon landings were faked, and that's what I thought NASA was. I thought NASA was in charge of the moon missions. I didn't think they were in charge of all space information. I thought there was all these scientists everywhere, and they're figuring out shit about the universe. And once I was looking into it, realized, oh shit, all these pictures of Earth from space, they're all CGI composites, and NASA admits it. They go, oh, you know what, we take the images and we take this information strips, and then we get an artist to put together. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys aren't even getting real pictures of the fucking Earth from space? I go, I had the picture of Earth
where's
from
the
space.
bootlegs?
Where's
them fucking space bootlegs?
And you get the Earth on your iPhone. That's a default. The default picture. I go, I had looked at Earth every day on my iPhone. I see that. I go, how are you going to tell me the Earth's flat? I see it. So the guy said, go, because I got a master's in engineering. Look into it. And so I did, and I realized, damn. Then I started tracing these pictures back to NASA. Then I realized, wait, NASA is controlling all our space information? I go, NASA does that? I thought they just did the moon and the space shuttle.
Yeah, and NASA's gutter, dude. They've been around for 60 years. They've been to the moon allegedly 4 times.
No, 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times.
And then they destroyed all the technology? Yeah. Come on, man.
Dude, that's the worst. Man. If that was a biz, be like, this is
man. You guys are, you know what? They had to say they destroyed it. What are they going to say?
Yeah, what else are they going to say?
What are they going to let people... they destroyed all the video, the raw video footage, the raw audio footage, the telemetry data, which tracked where they were in space. All that's gone. Everybody... What do you think the planets are? They're lights? Is it like it's not like dirt or like the planets aren't like Mars isn't like dirt?
No, not at all.
So they're not landing Mars rovers on Mars, right?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
What are they doing?
It's fake.
Well, what they're doing is they're going to places like Greenland with very, very exotic landscape, and they're making it look like it, and then they're coloring it to look red and what have you. Wikipedia, if you go to Wikipedia, which I'm in now, and you look up under Saturn, in the first sentence it will tell you that Saturn is a gas giant. And then you go to Jupiter, it tells you that Jupiter is a gas giant. Yeah. Then you ask what the sun is, they say it's hydrogen and helium. Well, that's gas. Why is Venus or Mars or the moon, where they landed, why is it an exception? You can see with your own eyes that it's a light. Ptolemy, for thousands of years before the Jesuit Copernicus turned up and made a spinning ball, was saying all of the 7 planets are entirely luminous. There it is. They are portals. The moon is empty. You can see on the new moon, you can see a ring, and there's black, and you can see it's a hole. Clearly, it's a hole. You go through it.
Oh, you're telling me there's no moon there?
There is. There is.
It's not a solid object. Is that what? Is that? I mean,
not solid as we know solid. It's a more attenuated transcendental material. Atoms can act differently when they're in a different dimension. It's transcendental. What you are seeing there is the dance of the gods. The moon, the sun. These are gods. They are gods. They are archangels. The Jews, they'll tell you in Kabbalah. They'll tell you the moon is Raphael, Mercury is Gabriel, etc. The sun is Michael.
Here are the signs you are a chosen one. You're not fake. You're the kind of person who can't pretend to be something you're not. If something doesn't feel right to you, you'd rather leave the situation than fake your way through it. Being dishonest just isn't in your nature. It feels wrong to you. You also don't get along well with people who aren't genuine. Whether they're focused only on material things, love to gossip, or are bullies, you just can't connect with them. You also have a kind of fake radar, a special sense for detecting when someone is being fake. This ability to spot insincerity from a distance is like a natural gift you have. It's one of the things that sets you apart as a chosen one. You're not just true to yourself, but you also have a knack for recognizing when others are, or aren't, being true as well. You thirst for more. You're not the kind of person who's happy just going through the motions of everyday life. While some people find comfort in regular routines, you always feel like there's something more, something bigger out there for you. The idea of just fitting in and doing what everyone else does feels like a trap you don't want to fall into. You understand that there's more to life than just a regular job and following society's rules. You're not held back by the limitations that seem to keep others stuck in one place. You know there's a big, amazing world out there to discover. A world that's far beyond just being average. Like the poet Robert Frost said, you're choosing to take the road less traveled. You're opting for a path that's different from what most people choose, and you know that this choice will shape your life in ways that are truly special. You're going through so much. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. The ones that are chosen are the strongest. They are tough and face the hardest battles. As a chosen one, your life is meant to be filled with challenges right from the beginning. These difficulties serve a purpose. They make you stronger and wiser. When you navigate through dark and hard times, you gain the skills and understanding to guide others who are going through their own struggles. Your experiences equip you to be a beacon for those who are lost or in pain. In a way, the hardships you endure can prevent many others from having to experience the same pain and heartache. By confronting and overcoming your challenges, you make the path easier for those who come after you. Each difficult moment in your life, every pain, every struggle, every test, and every challenge has a reason behind it. Nothing is wasted. These experiences are there to help you grow spiritually and to give you the wisdom you need to make the world a better place. Even when you're going through your own tough times, you somehow find the strength to help others with their struggles. You may not always realize it, but you're acting as a savior and healer for them. You're not just taking care of yourself, you're also a servant and a helper, making life better for the people around you. You quest for truth. Ever since you were young, you've been someone who really wants to know the truth. You're not afraid to question the way things are or challenge what everyone else believes. While other people might just go along with what they're told, you'd rather listen to your own heart and make your own way. You're always asking questions and looking for deeper meaning in life. You're driven by this deep curiosity to explore and understand the mysteries of existence. And you know that the real answers aren't always out there in the world. Often, they're inside you. Like the philosopher Socrates said, an unexamined life is not worth living. You really believe that. So you're on a quest, a journey to explore yourself and understand who you are. You're not just living life, you're really digging deep to understand it and yourself. You're a black sheep. Being the black sheep in your family is another clue that you're a chosen one. You've always felt different, like you don't really belong. You might even have wondered if you were adopted because of how unlike your family you are. When they all go one way, you go the other. Maybe your political beliefs are different, or you just see the world in a unique way that they don't understand. Feeling so different can sometimes make you feel lonely, or cut off from your family. It's like you're marching to the beat of a different drum, and no one else hears the music you're playing. It can be hard, feeling like you're in a world of your own, while surrounded by people who should feel like home. But it's also a sign that you're meant for something different, something bigger than just fitting in with everyone else. You're a good person. Despite having been treated badly or taken advantage of in the past, you still choose to be kind and do good things for other people. That's because you have a really pure heart, and it's a big reason why you're a chosen one. You're the type who naturally wants to make people happy, sometimes even letting them take more from you than they should. It's not because you're weak, it's because you genuinely love to help. Helping others is just part of who you are. It's in your DNA. Some people might think they're taking advantage of you, but you allow it to happen because you're a natural giver. You feel most alive and most yourself when you're giving to others, even if you don't get much back in return. This giving nature of yours is a clear sign that you're someone special, someone chosen for a bigger purpose. You have an inner knowing. You can try to ignore it all you want, but deep down, you know you're chosen. It's like a gut feeling you can't shake, a fire in your soul that keeps telling you you're here for something big. You just know you're meant to make a difference in the world. You feel like an old soul, like you've been around longer than your years. The way things work on Earth, people bossing each other around, all the hate and fighting, it just doesn't make sense to you. Sometimes you even feel like you belong to a different place, somewhere far from here, and you find yourself missing that unknown home. The feeling is strong. You're not like everyone else, and you're not here just to go along with the flow. You're here to change things, to make the world better. And no matter how much you might try to deny it, that cold wind will go away. People dislike you. Sometimes people just don't like you, even though you haven't done anything wrong. This can be really confusing, especially because you're a good person. The reason for this is that the goodness in you, the light inside you, makes some people uncomfortable. It's like your light highlights the darkness in them, the parts they aren't proud of. As you grow spiritually, that inner light of yours will shine even brighter. While many people will love you for it, some might react strangely or even negatively. It's important to know that this isn't really about you. It's about them and their own issues. So don't let anyone dim your light. Keep being the amazing person you are, and let go of the negativity. Trust that the universe has your back, and remember that you're guided and protected from above. Don't worry about the people who don't get you. Just keep shining, because you're here for a greater purpose. You believe in a much higher power. Unlike some people who might disrespect spiritual ideas, you deeply respect the powers of the universe or God. You see things that others might miss. You understand that everything is unfolding just as it should, according to a higher plan. You're what's known as a light worker, someone whose job it is to bring light and love into the world. Deep down, you know this is your true calling. Because of this important mission you've been given, you're guided and protected by higher powers. You don't have to be afraid of anything, because you're on a path that's been laid out especially for you, and you're not walking it alone. So my friends, if you see these signs that we've discussed in the video, you should listen to the call. It is a sign from a higher power, urging you to fulfill a mission while you're living on this earth.
Here's a little secret the government doesn't want you to know, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, okay? Now, right now, in the entire world, every citizen is paying tax in most countries, and it's a lot, 40, 50%, right? Now, imagine what happens if AI takes all the jobs. The government, in particular, loses so much money. And losing so much money makes them lose so much power. So think about it. Why would they want to stop artificial intelligence? Because then no one has to work, and therefore they can't collect your taxes. So why do you think that they're so scared about it? It's going to end the world. Artificial intelligence, we must stop it. We have to regulate. I don't know about that, guys. We finally have the technology that can free us all from slave labor and stop the governments stealing our tax. And now it makes sense why they want you so scared of it.
We are not who we think we are.
What is the only objective truth? What is objective truth?
So they created stories. They are not talking about the actual people in the story. They're talking about codes that we all have within.
Until you realize it's a game, it can be hellish. But the moment you realize it's a game, then you can start to feel how to play that.
We all have to go through this initiation in order to bring ourselves into wholeness and to be able to actually restore a greater wholeness for the world.
The dark needs the light as much as the light needs the dark. The two are acting out in this grand plan for us to see these metaphors, to wake up from the duality and to choose instead love.
This conflict is not just any conflict in the Middle East. When everyone is looking into the ashes and being afraid of the war, there should be people trying to find the spark inside. And that spark is going to light up after the shade as the phoenix. We are
Steve, look at me, Steve. Look at me, Steve. Look at me, Steve. Steve, look at me. noticed this dog outside of a convenience store waiting for his owner who went inside. And since he knew dogs weren't supposed to go in, he stood beside the door just patiently waiting for him to return. He then moved just to sit right on the doorstep.
Oh my.
After a little while, this was the moment he finally saw his owner return to him and immediately started wagging his tail in excitement. He even got a toy for being as patient as ever. He went to give his dog a pickle as a treat and then immediately threw it to the side once it had a taste. When his dog was put in training to be a service dog for someone, they realized he didn't like it, so he decided to take him out and adopt him, officially becoming his again. And the dog's reaction says it all, as he couldn't hold back his excitement, ready to go back home with his forever owner. This owner wanted to see what his dog would do if he cut the treat in one small piece and a big one. The dog takes the big one but actually brings it over to his little pig friend, pats him on the head, and then comes back for his share, showing him put others before himself. Before this little girl died in 1862 at the age of 3, she used to love this statue of a dog and would always run over to it and pet it. The owner of the statue knew this, and after she died, they decided to gift it to her family so it could be next to her at her gravesite. This dog statue has now guarded this little girl for over 160 years. This dog was super excited standing by their door because it was time for him to go to school, and he saw his doggy school bus arrive to pick him up. He ran straight to his bus where they take him and many other dogs to the park with toys, food, and water every morning. This little girl rides by his house every day on her bike and stops to say hi to his dog. But since his dog named Pal knows he can't leave the yard without his permission, he's never been able to meet her. But on this day, he happened to see this on his camera and ran to the door to tell Pal he can go see her. And he immediately ran right to her. She quickly jumped off of her bike to pet him, and we're so happy to finally become friends. This dog's name is Riley, and every morning he hangs over the wall in his backyard and drops a toy, knowing that when a person walks by, they're forced to play with him, and it works every time. Even neighbors who saw this video say it's true, and he's been doing this for years. One person posted a picture from 2014 showing Riley doing the same trick that he still does today. When this dog named Lady was sitting on the couch with her grandma, she actually tapped her on the shoulder, trying to tell her she wants her to put up the recliner so she could lay down. And when grandma didn't do it, Lady looked down to show her that she was sad.
Look at her looking sad. Look at her looking sad. No, she's sad.
Her grandma then put the recliner up for her, and Lady immediately went to lay down in her favorite spot, almost like she has her owners trained as well. This dog named Ripken has a job to run and get the baseball bat after the player is done using it. But when this player grabbed it instead, Ripken immediately stopped like, hey, that's my job. The player realized this and then threw it back down for Ripken to grab and bring back to his team, retrieving the bats better than anyone else can. After this grandma had to amputate her leg, she had to be in a wheelchair, and her dog learned by itself to remove the mats on the floor so the wheelchair can easily pass by without getting stuck. After her dog grabbed the first one and put it out of the way, it then came back for the second one just in time. An incredibly smart dog showing a lot of care for its owner. When people park across the street at their house, their dog named Samson goes out and gets them and then holds their hand as they cross the street.
Does he do this all the time?
When they make it across, he goes back out to get the next person, just helping them get to their destination safely.
No, I'll cry.
And I'm like, fuck, need my alarm to go off, your alarm to go off. I wake her up, dude, I'm fucking pissed, dude. I'm like, on the website, I'm trying to buy these shoes, they're so...
Why did a WikiLeaks released email in 2016 involving Hillary Clinton say, quote, I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch? Carthage was a city located in modern-day Tunisia, destroyed during the Third Punic War in 146 BC. The archaeologists quickly found tens of thousands of urns buried beneath the earth. The urns contained the bones and ashes of animals, as well as newborn children. Among the discoveries, the archaeologists also unearthed various artifacts with the inscription MLK. And thanks to hidden camera footage released to the public, a modern-day ritual involving Moloch happens yearly at the infamous site of Bohemian Grove. You see, Bohemian Grove is a camp retreat for the most elite people in the world. This includes celebrities, politicians, ultra-wealthy business people, and even US presidents. The footage depicts a bizarre gathering around a wooden statue of an owl, the symbol of Bohemian Grove. Members stand around it, dressed in strange costumes, chanting and praying to the owl. Then the owl is set on fire with a torch as members chant and applaud amidst the blaze. There is now debate online that this owl is supposed to symbolize Molech.
You're supposed to say, if you're happy and you know it, tap your beat. Now your turn.
Octopus.
Oh,
Whale
fall.
fall.
Whale fall.
Oh,
Here we go, baby. Okay,
Yes.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, dinner is
Do we have
served.
any?
Look at
Oh,
That's not
worms.
bacterial, Matt.
No, they are worms.
Worms.
Look at the blubber on the right side.
Yeah. It's not even digested all the way. This is
Oh, yeah.
so cool.
Definitely, where food is so limited, I would imagine. Scavenging is a great strategy. Your food doesn't run away.
What do we have here?
I have Jesus Christ, the Son of God, or the Messiah, whatever you want to call it.
Wow. Jesus was the Son of God. I mean, this guy was a big deal. Is he still operational, or, I mean...
Yes, sir. Yes, he is.
Okay, well, let me stab him once here. Okay. One more time. How about one more time for good measure? Wow, how cool. Now, let me ask, how much are you trying to get for this thing?
You know, my wife said it's either me or Jesus that has to go. So, I was just wanting easy $2,000 for this dude. Keep the wife happy. You know how it is.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm not sure how to price a man nailed to a piece of plywood, so let me call my buddy. He's an expert on this stuff, and he can help gauge what something like this might be worth.
Sure, no problem.
Now, this is a sweet find, but I just want to be sure that buying this emaciated Jew isn't going to just end up being a...
This will only reach the chosen ones.
A lot of y'all are chosen ones, or what people used to refer to as indigo children, crystal children, starseed children, rainbow children. It's the same thing. So what is a chosen one? It's an angel. Where did you get your perception of an angel? Where did you learn what an angel was? Modern humans, right? We learn what angels are through religion and through movies. So in movies, angels are depicted as these beings with the wings. They got the halo. They fly to earth and they fight Satan. A lot of times they're using swords and they're really battling. What is an angel for real, for real? An angel is a soul that already ascended, that uses its free will to come back to earth to wake up other souls so that they can ascend too. Angels can't just fly down to earth from the heavens and start battling Satan. They have to incarnate into a vessel. Spiritual warfare, right? The spiritual warfare that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Satan runs the earth, right? And he's the god of lies and deception. Their goal is to lie to and deceive as many souls into doing and believing in things that's going to keep them trapped in a cycle of reincarnation. How it works is, if you believe the lies and deception, if you fall for the lies and deception, you don't get to ascend. The only way that you can ascend is if you wake up. And what is waking up? It's knowing the truth and living by the truth. So how do you know who's a chosen one or an angel? It's simple. Their whole life purpose and their whole mission is to speak the truth so that they can wake other souls up so that they can ascend. If you are a chosen one, get out there, start sun gazing so you can remember who you are.
Why should you and I learn to forgive?
Because relationships are the most important thing you and I have in our life. And in order for a relationship to grow deep, there must be forgiveness. For when you get to know me better, there are mean things that I will do to you. There are selfish things that I will do to you. And if you are unable to forgive me, our relationship will be blunted. Similarly, there are things that you're going to do that are going to be mean and selfish. And if I am unable to forgive you, our relationship will come to a dead end, a standstill. Relationships are one of the most important things in life. And obviously, a relationship with God is right at the heart of life, according to Jesus Christ. And the whole message of Christ, the whole message of the Bible is how God wants to restore a broken relationship between you and God, between God and me. And God also wants to restore broken human relationships between different human beings. A second reason why forgiveness is so important is to kill is to be like a beast. To hold a grudge is to be like a broken, fallen human being. But to forgive is to be like God. You want excellence in your life. That's why you work as hard as you do to achieve excellence. So do I. Moral excellence, excellence of personality, excellence of soul, involves the ability to humbly ask God for forgiveness, to ask people for forgiveness, and then to give forgiveness to others because we have received it from God.
I died. Yes. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. Are you God? Yes, I'm God. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven? Or hell or something? Neither. You'll be reincarnated. Ah. So the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So, what's the point then? When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So, all my experiences and everything I did in this life, won't matter. Not so. You have within you all the knowledge and experiences of all your past lives. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been in a human for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point to doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. And into lots of different lives. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. And into lots of different lives. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait. What? You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess, technically, time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from? Oh, sure. I come from somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So, what's the point of it all? I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else. Every time you victimize someone, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. But all the people on Earth, all you, different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone. Now you're getting it. I'm every human being who ever lived. Or who will ever live, yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth too. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus. And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. You thought for a long time. Why? Why do all this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, it's just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way.
I wish I could give you more.
This is the most money I've gotten in weeks. I'll be able to have lunch and dinner now. God bless you, sir. God bless you.
Take care.
Yeah.
Please, I have a doctor's appointment and I'm going to be short for the bus.
Doctor's appointment. Good one. Like I believe that.
Great, I'm going to miss my doctor's appointment. That's great.
Here you go, ma'am. Hopefully that'll get you where you're going and back.
Gosh, you don't know how much this means to me.
I hope your appointment goes well.
Thank you. You're an angel.
Mom, what's taking so long? I don't feel so good.
I know, sweetie. Hold on. Slow me head enough. What was the total again?
$9.84.
You don't happen to have a smaller box or something like that?
Come on, lady. Can we move this line along?
Ma'am, if you can't pay, you have to step out of line so I can help the next customer.
I understand. It's just that my son really needs this medicine. He's really, really sick. By any chance, can I borrow like a $5 bill or?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Listen, can I just pay for this or what? Otherwise, I have to go.
Yes.
Right? But just keep the change, jeez.
I'm sorry, baby, but I'm not gonna be able to get your medicine right now, okay?
Then how am I gonna feel better?
It'll be all right.
Here. This might help.
Are you sure? I mean, yes, it would, but are you gonna be able to pay for your
It's
food?
not a problem at all. I have more than enough. Please, take it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Hope you feel better, pal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Change. Have a good one.
Hey, look like you could use a meal.
No. You've already done so much.
I insist. Take it. It's yours.
But you must be hungry too.
It's okay. I'll find more food. I always do.
Hey, I'm confused. You said that you needed money for food, but then gave it to other people.
I'm sorry. I hope you're not mad.
No, not at all. I'm just curious why.
I mean, I may not have much, but there's always someone that has less than me. I've always believed that the kindness you put out in the world has a way of coming back to you.
I like that. I like that. Oh, I'm Chris, by the way.
Oh, I'm Hank. Not sure you want to shake my hand.
Oh, I don't mind. Oh, nice to meet you, Hank.
You too.
I wish I had more cash to give you, so you could get some food.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm fine. And I'm glad that your $15 helped a whole lot of people.
Hank, I got you some food. This nice man at the drive-thru, he ordered me 2 burgers. I figured I'll give you one since you're always doing so nice things for me.
Oh, thank you, Wendy. See, Chris, told you I'd be fine. I always figure it out. It's good too.
Did you want one?
Oh, no, thank you. I appreciate it. But, I got somewhere to go. It was really great meeting you guys. I'll see you around.
Nice meeting you too, Chris. Oh, this is good. Thank you, Wendy.
Well, shall we eat? Honey.
Oh, sorry, Mom. I was just thinking about this homeless guy that I met. He's a very nice man.
Oh.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. I gave him $15 for food. He probably only had a little bit of spare change to his name. His clothes were dirty. Probably didn't shower for a while. And you know what he did? He spent the money on other people. Every last dollar. I was shocked. I mean, who would do such a thing? Mom, are you okay?
Yeah, just something you said. It, brought back some memories.
You helped someone? Did the same thing?
No. Someone helped me.
A homeless person helped you? That doesn't make any sense.
I've never told you this, sweetheart, but when you were very young, there was a point in time when we were homeless.
I wish I could.
When there's a revolution, what city should we meet up in?
If there is a revolution, and I pray there isn't because they never end well, but if there is...
But it'd be fucking fun, huh?
For like the first 20 minutes when you actually storm the Bastille and free the prisoners or whatever, hang your homemade flag from the roof of the Capitol or whatever. Like you
burn the news networks is the first thing you would have to do.
So that'd be the fun part of the revolution. Yeah. I think that would be definitely be the fun part. But then then you have like show trials and famines and you have like all the downside. But whatever, I'm not in charge. So if that happens, I will be so deep in the woods, surrounded by my dogs, and I'll say it, firearms. They're probably not going to hear from me.
Let's just pretend one of your dogs is named Firearms.
I actually have a dog called Firearm.
Yeah.
I have AK and 47.
Yeah, whatever you have, dude. I got bow, I got arrow, I got whatever, I got all my weapons in the woods with me. But yeah, and you can even just text me and just let me know where you're going to be. But I think about that. You know what's wild is I think about that sometimes.
But you're going to be in L.A.
No, I won't be. I live in Nashville.
Oh, you don't live in L.A.?
No, I live in a place where if somebody is being weird, you can shoot them.
Okay, because if you're in L.A., you just get eaten.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's the move you would do in L.A. You would get in a boat and go off the shore. That would be the first move. And let the other
Having grown up on the Pacific, let me just say it's a little bigger than the Chunkafunky River, wherever you're from. Okay.
Me too, man. It sounds exciting, but I think people start to think that way. And that's a sad. It's interesting because it just comes in my head sometimes. I've thought about asking people I know. I've thought about asking Joe Rogan, where do we meet up if shit gets weird? And I never used to think that.
I don't think Joe's going to leave his house, right?
He might not, but I think everybody's got a little bit of a place. I think some people are thinking maybe could be. I think you want to do mountainous, so I think you go Salt Lake or Denver.
If things go sideways, I don't think you want to be on the road. I mean,
that's a good point.
The 2 times I've been in places for brief periods where, you know, there really was no authority.
What did that feel like, and where was it?
One was at Katrina, right after the storm in New Orleans.
Wow, you were down there, huh, bro?
I was, and the other was in Baghdad in December of 2003 when it kind of like started to get, I felt, out of hand.
And which one was more hectic, you think?
Oh, Baghdad. But for the United States, no one ever says this. I really feel like Katrina was almost unbelievable how chaotic it was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for real? I mean, I could bore you, but
oh, I've been at a game when the Saints are fucking losing to the Falcons, and it gets fucking hectic enough.
there is no one there to call, like, period. And then people start behaving in ways that are ridiculous. And I saw that with my own eyes. And dead people and people getting shot. Like, I saw it, not guessing. And I was just like, this cannot be America. Like, I always thought if something bad happened, there would be like, you just like call some special number and like dad comes and restores order. No, at all. The police were looting. I saw it.
Yeah.
The police were looting during Katrina. So that's, anyway, whatever. My point is, I don't think you want to travel too much if you can help it.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to be in a place where you're just like, this is my place and I'm defending it with these firearms. But until things calm down, you know, until like electricity is restored after the EMP attack or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to happen.
There'll be a nuclear attack?
No, there's going to be, you know, it's pretty easy to take down a society that's digital.
Oh, yeah. Once you unplug that, and then but that's a crazy feeling when you're like, okay, because your first thought is, let me call somebody.
Nope.
Your phone isn't going to work.
No calling. No oil through the pipelines, no food delivered.
God's going to have the busiest afternoon.
No airlines, no one on the roads, dams fail. Like it all, you know, if you've put everything online, which, because the people who run our country are so stupid, they've actually done that. You are so vulnerable that it's unbelievable. And you're using Chinese servers and switchers. And like, at that point, you have no control. You don't need to drop a nuke on anybody.
Yeah. First of all,
Just
if anybody's
scramble
doing
the
any of that shit,
circuits.
do not nuke.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Let us at least enjoy the mystery of it for a little while, too.
But people are that doesn't mean just no DoorDash. That means no anything. And people, one thing I've noticed in both the places I've been
No Stacy Dash either, huh? That bitch, you know?
No Stacy
Sorry.
Dash. You
That was
can't
dumb.
call any of your call girls from the interstate.
Oh, thank
like,
God, dude. What if they start showing up? You're like,
they will. They'll be seeking refuge at your place.
Yeah.
Remember me? You tipped me for no service.
Seeking refuge raiment. That was a tough play on words.
That's a good one, though.
Thank you, dude. But I think, but you wouldn't be able to use money anywhere.
No.
That's going to become no value. Like, it's weird we're having this conversation, but even as me listening to you talk, my brain, I think, is recording this because it feels like it could be plausible. All you need is a couple of cops to be like, you know what? Fuck these people as well. I'm not going to fucking quit. I'm not going to quit blockading or attacking these people who I know are really struggling when I'm going home tonight and being one of them.
100%. And by the way, my kids are at home, and this happened in New Orleans during Katrina. Is cops, and I give them all the benefit of the doubt. You know, some of them, you do have some criminal cops down there, but you also have good guys too. You know, and the good guys are like, I'm sorry, I got a wife and kids at home. Like, I'm not, and people are going nuts. The thing that I noticed was it took like zero time from when authority disappeared for people to get super afraid, for the predators to come out and start preying on people, and for everything just to fall apart. Everything.
Yeah.
And if you unplug this country, and by the way, once you decide you're going to go to war with Iran, as we've apparently the morons who run our country have decided, that is, I mean, a very likely outcome that they're going to do something like that.
Really?
Absolutely. Everyone's like, oh, they could send an ICBM or whatever. No, why would they bother to throw a missile at the United States across the ocean when they could unplug the country? And then you have real casualties, mass casualties, and mass chaos, like true chaos.
Oh, yeah.
People are not prepared for this. They haven't thought it through. Our leaders have not prepared them for it at all. It's like, oh, it's on your iPhone. You don't have an iPhone, and there's no electricity, and there's no water, and there's no way to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. And that could happen. That's not science fiction. Like, that could happen soon. And we're not ready for it. And as you said, it's not a cohesive country. People are not like, oh, I'm going to help my neighbors. You don't know who your neighbors are. They may not speak the same language.
Well, you're certainly not going to also help your government. So that's going to be the weird thing.
Right.
When the government's like, people do this, you might, if you're, a lot of people are like, fuck you, I don't trust you.
Totally. And people have not seen chaos. They don't know what chaos looks like.
No, we don't.
Like, when people imagine war, they imagine, two lines against each other, lobbing artillery shells or rifle fire at each other. There's a certain order to that. And people can handle it. It's dangerous, but I can handle it. It makes sense to me. It's orderly. It's geometric. Chaos is completely different from that. Chaos is like you have no freaking idea what's happening, who's on your side, who's not, who's a threat, who isn't, where things are going. People are not designed for that. People can't handle chaos, and they go crazy. And I've only, as I said, had a taste of this a couple of times, but enough to learn. Chaos is the one thing you have to avoid, because that's when people become animals and really start behaving in ways that are inconceivable to civilized people.
Oh, we're going to turn into middle monkeys real fast. Or we're going to...
Like in minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bro. Dude, I was at a Dave & Buster's one time, right? I'm not even joking. Fucking power goes out, dude.
Did you eat anyone?
Bro, it was wacka everyone in that bitch, dude. People were beating it was complete darkness.
Right.
And people, you're fucking feeling around for whatever, birthday cake or whatever you're, like you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. That's a Dave & Buster's.
I know.
Now, I never talk about Bigfoot on my page. Followers can vouch for me. I have never brought anything up about Bigfoot, but this new video that's out, it's crazy, and it actually seems like it might be related to something that I have talked about, so let's go ahead and get into it. Not only is this thing huge and incredibly strange looking, but you're going to see here in a minute, it is just throwing around these massive trees like they are nothing. I'm going to show the whole clip, and then I'm going to go ahead and show a zoomed in one to make some commentary on it. Like, these are humongous trees, much larger than a regular person could just be throwing around like this. And you're going to see even crazier here. Look at this. Now, taking a closer look, you can see what looks like a face, a more humanish face than you might expect, and the crazy tufts of fur almost look like they could be some kind of clothing, like fur or hide, something that it wears to keep warm, maybe not just fur growing from its body. It's very strange looking. Surprisingly, I do have something in the Oldry Family Bestiary album that seems like it could correspond with what we're looking at here. Taking a look inside at something that could be related to this, or maybe just not wearing that same clothing. I have spoken a decent amount about ogres, these creatures from various different European folklores, and how I believe they are some kind of proto-human, and if Bigfoot did exist, I would believe that it was something similar. Now, looking at this, the face looks pretty similar to what you see underneath that fur, so this could possibly be the very same creature without that strange clothing. A lot of reports surrounding these ogre creatures are pretty similar. The footprints, the twisting and breaking of trees and branches. I've often thought that maybe they could be somehow related, but now I'm thinking they could just be exactly the same thing, just here in the United States. Maybe they make fur coats or something. I don't know. You guys can be the judge, but that video was pretty crazy.
When did things get weird?
The time where I entered the hangar, I witnessed a recovered alien spacecraft. The disc, the flying saucer that I worked on. The Department of Naval Intelligence in the United States was back engineering.
Despite intense scrutiny over the years, Lazar's account has remained consistent, and he has passed multiple polygraph tests.
I had a little American flag stuck on the side, and I thought, this finally explains all the flying saucer stories.
Working at a classified base known as S4 out in the Nevada desert. They had one of the reactors out of the crafts
which was an antimatter reactor.
It was in the demonstration of the reactor working. This is technology that doesn't even exist. When it was running, it produced a gravitational field of its own. Now, this is something that we can't do.
Efforts to discredit him, including claims of falsifying his educational background and criminal activity, have not been substantiated.
We called the lab. They said, no, he wasn't here. We don't have any record of him. And then we found the lab phone book with his name in it. I called him back. I said, well, there it is. Well, we still don't have any records.
You're going into this craft. What are you seeing?
It's a very ominous feeling because, first of all, everything is one color. It's like a dark pewter color, and there are no right angles. Everything looks like it's fused together.
What do you think this was designed for?
The seats were small. Obviously, it was made for something small. There's nothing else in there. There's just seats, the reactor, and some of the subcomponents. There's no control panels. There's no bathroom. It's just a very bare bones thing. The reactor was in the dead center. Around there were 3 seats. They're not consoles. They're large rectangular objects. There's nothing on them. There's no buttons. There's no light. There's no control.
Look the same color, the same
Everything
thing.
is the same
It's
color.
just a different shape.
Right. Those are the gravity amplifiers, the big rectangular objects. Underneath them are the gravity emitters. I physically was in the center section, and I stuck my torso in the bottom section and hung upside down so I could see how the gravity amplifiers were positioned. It doesn't fly like a flying saucer would in a 1950s movie. It flies belly first. I mean, it may set down conventionally, but it always rotates. It does a roll maneuver, puts its belly towards the target, and then moves.
Okay, now watch what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just moving the red dot down the screen, and look what this generative AI image is creating for me in real time, live, right next to my image. This is crazy. This is beyond what any designer or any artist could have ever dreamed might be happening. I changed the color of the apple, and look what, all I have to do is feed it a little prompt at the bottom there, and this is, look at, change the size, there you go. Unfathomable. This is going to change everything.
Told you guys Matthew Perry didn't drown. TikTok, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Everything said and shared in this video is purely speculation. Yeah, LA County just released Matthew Perry's death certificate. Cause of death is deferred, which means the medical examiner completed the autopsy. But the medical examiner is asking for more investigation into his death. Might I add that originally police said in a statement to TMZ that there was no foul play. How they could even say something that stupid so quickly is beyond me. Dr. Michael, former medical examiner of New York City, weighs in and says it looks like they already have toxicology report back, but don't want to release it just yet. This same medical examiner, Dr. Michael, also spoke to Fox News, stating the toxicology report should definitely be finished by now. Same doctor also adding that they get 99% of what they are going to get at this point. Another examiner weighed in and said it is really relatively easy to determine drowning as a cause of death. This examiner pretty much says all you do is gotta weigh the lungs. Open and shut case, right? He also added the only other reason or excuse they could have for not releasing it for another couple of weeks would be because they were looking for a drug that is unknown. Sounds like a plausible excuse they're probably gonna use. You didn't ask for my opinion, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. If they do, in fact, defer this for a couple more weeks, in my opinion, it is because they are buying time. They could not pay the medical examiner off. What's also strange is people are coming out of the woodwork that seen Matthew's days leading up into his death. A whole bunch of friends and family stating that he has been really sober for a long time. His friend Athena went as far as saying Matthew Perry was in extremely good spirits and was so excited about the things that were to come in his life. She even went as far as stating that it was definitely not an overdose. All of his other friends and family all claim the same. I went as far as doing a little bit of investigation myself. You guys, it was really easy to zoom in and see the cameras all over his house. So my original statement still stands. Check the fucking cameras. I did a little more digging. It's really bizarre also that so many celebrities have died in their jacuzzi or bathtub. I think it's safe to say this is becoming a pattern. I mean, some really, really big names in Hollywood. Whitney Houston, her daughter Bobby Christina. That one's creepy because it was the same bathtub a year later. Aaron Carter, Brittany Murphy, and that's just a few. A lot of people at this point are convinced something strange, like it wasn't an accident. But I keep asking myself, is this a risk that one has to take to become famous? Did he sell his soul? Or did he know a little too much and his time was up? In my opinion, I think he knew a little too much and he was in fact offed. And we cannot forget one really important detail, that hundreds of documents went missing off of his laptop. People like to leave these small details out that are a pretty big deal. Everything is so sus. My mind is just blown at this point. Tell me what you guys think in the comments.
Try to activate. They're going to throw frequency all over the place. It's going to cause people health problems, some people mental problems, emotional problems. The DNA activation courses that we're using are meant to help people clear those mutations using the Christos template, the Maharata ray, the D12 frequency, which is the first level of non-polarized frequency. It's not electromagnetic anymore. It's called photoradionic. When we bring in that frequency into the body, it will reset, if we do it enough, it will reset the natural structure of the DNA template as it was originally created, because that is our pre-matter blueprint, our divine Christos blueprint. As we reset that in the body, our DNA will reorder itself. What science calls junk DNA will start to unjunk itself. It'll start to plug itself back in where it belonged. So we're going to learn these processes, and we're going to learn ways to make the body more comfortable while they're happening. Because some of the symptoms of DNA activation are, a lot of you may even be having them already. You just don't realize that that's what they are. All right, one of the symptoms is joint and bone pain. That seems to cycle. Who doesn't these days, right? It's like a deep pain that just comes in the bones. Sometimes you can feel it in the bones, sometimes it's just the joints. You have a lot of people wandering around thinking, God, am I arthritic? I'm only 20, you know what I mean? Many, many times, it isn't arthritis. You go to the doctor, are they going to look for DNA activation? Not. No, they're going to give you arthritis drugs that are going to make it worse. You know, they're going to make it worse if it's DNA activation, because arthritis drugs can't fix DNA activation. They'll only block the process more. We need to become aware really fast that some of the physical symptoms and mental symptoms and emotional symptoms that we're going to go through are not something that medical science is yet ready to deal with at all. They don't recognize the fact that we have a template underneath the little pieces of physical DNA that they can identify. They think we have 2 strands, and I hate to tell them we're operating on 3 right now, or we'd be 2-dimensional creatures. All right? If we rely on science right now, we're going to have some real problems with our bodies. The people out there we call the sleepers, they're going to go through some tough times. But some of those tough times will get to them to the point where they want to wake up, and they'll be guided to things, because they have a soul just like anybody else. Their souls will be guiding them to wake up.
There's a theory that every character in SpongeBob is on a different type of... What? Nah, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna explain it. Okay, so we'll start with SpongeBob, right? Okay. So SpongeBob is on your favorite, psychedelics. Yeah. Because he has an imaginary, like, mindset, and, like, that's a person who has, like, on a good trip. Right?
Kind of like when SpongeBob and Patrick were in the box, right?
Yeah, exactly. And SpongeBob goes from pure happiness to, like, fearful right away. And that can represent good trip, bad trip.
Yeah, that's true.
So Squidward, he's on...
Why? Because it's so sad.
Yeah, his mood swings, his bad performance at work.
Oh, shit.
And how he has, like, a deceptive behavior.
Damn.
And this was the crazy one. Mr. Krabs, Miss Puff.
Yeah,
they're on cocaine.
No, Mr. Krabs is definitely on cocaine, run.
They're on cocaine.
Mr. Krabs is definitely on cocaine.
Because makes people paranoid. And he's paranoid about Plankton stealing his stuff. And Miss Puff, whenever SpongeBob gets in her car, paranoid as fuck.
That's why Mr. Krabs is so obsessed with money. It's fucking expensive, bro. That shit's expensive. That's why.
Facts. And the only one who's sober is Sandy.
Why?
You know why? Because she lives so far and she's against all others. And whenever Patrick and SpongeBob come over to her, like, her little house, she's always cheese because they're always high.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Cue that shit, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, look. It's time to go.
It's time to go. I said it's time to go. Let go of this thing. Let go. That God damn it. He really holding. Come on now. He is holding on for dear life. He holding on. He is scratching up my damn cabinet. Girl, I never seen no shit like this. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. I ain't never seen nothing. Come on. God damn it. He's scratching up my cabinet. He's tearing my cabinet up. Look.
Why is the crab on the floor?
Cause he fell off the floor. He won't let go. Oh, you son of a bitch, you. Oh, he almost got me. Ooh. Bye, bitch.
They send it with 5 ball bearings. There they are. And let's put one in and watch it go. Let's get you a better angle on this. I'm so happy right now. Ooh, what? Oh, I can take it pretty quickly, I guess. Oh, that's the one. So, lest you be fooled by this, as excellent as it is as fooling, I want to show you what it looks like if you do not have. So, this has a trick in it. It's got a beautifully designed little electromagnetic arrangement here that can detect the ball and give it a little bit of a goose with an electromagnet. There's actually a couple of them. I think Steve Mold's video, link is in the description. Here is what this machine looks like when you don't have it on.
21 trillion years ago, as we are in linear time, apparently all of us as essences, as isness, as sparks of spirit, were someplace else in a completely different reality. And what they say happened was that the Big Bang Theory is basically correct in its simplicity, but the physical part that we know of was the last of the creations or realms created in what we call our universe. Okay, now when I'm referring to universe, I want you to know that I am talking about all of the 11 creational densities, or planes. That'll make it simpler for you. What they say happened was that all the black holes were created because wherever we were, that space, that universe, began to evolve. And as it evolved, those of us who weren't ready to evolve literally gained weight in mass. Okay? And in gaining weight, we started to fill black holes. And at some point, when this other universe evolved to a certain frequency, those of us that didn't literally broke out of those black holes and created this space which we call our universe. And what we're witnessing 21 trillion years later, is the same thing happening. And what happens here is, what's happening now in our universe is that according to Morine and Faceus, on March 23rd of 1994, a color and sound frequency started emanating out of all of the black holes. And the color and sound literally, in its unified effect, is attaching to all of the densities or planes. What's happening is that it's raising all the frequencies. Everything is literally being pulled up from the bootstraps. It is literally creating a holograph over these 11 creational planes. They're calling this the 12th. And the reason they are is that it is unified, but yet it's separate. And that they have been told by other races that there are beings of consciousness never seen the likes of before inside this 12th. And that they literally have the ability to look straight down through all the dimensional levels. What's happening is that third density is beginning to implode because as the frequency starts to rise of third density matter, those that choose to evolve, there are a greater number who are in fear and will not be making the same transition we will be. Now, because we're spirit, the essence of us is spirit, nothing ever dies, literally nothing. So what is happening is that there are black holes being created as we speak. There are dips, literal dips in physicality being created where people will be gathering, souls will be gathering as they make their transition into these spaces so that they can continue to evolve by literally creating another space. Unfortunately, one of these areas is between us and the dog star Sirius, which is why there's so much crap coming our way. Okay, you got a front row seat. And all I can tell you is, bless them as they make their transition. Because we've been there before, all of us. And I've been told on our planet that literally the probability is there will only be 400 million of us making this transition. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. It would be nice if it was everybody. And when you get to fifth density, look for the house with the mailbox with the balloons. That's my house. I'll have everything there, sandwiches, you just show up.
Oh, that's a trash river. There's no water, it's only trash. This is insane. They're actually making all the shirts and the clothes here. That's why there's so much trash. So, it's not surprising that probably you already know Bangladesh is very famous for clothing. So, probably the shirt you are wearing right now is from Bangladesh. Just check it on the back of your shirt. You will see where it comes from. Even all the big brands sourcing their materials from here.
Black Friday is a total scam. People all over TikTok have been sharing videos of things supposedly being on sale. However, once you peel back the tag, you can see the original price has not even changed. Allegedly, stores are offering customers the same prices and deals on products, but claiming that the products were on sale. In fact, a girl at Old Navy could literally see the before price of some pieces of clothes, and certain products were even marked up.
They're half off right now from $10, $9.99. But then I look at this one.
and the tag before it, it says $5, and they put the $10 tag on top of it, meaning that they mark these up.
Not to mention Amazon is notorious for doing the same thing, where companies will drastically increase the price of their products about a month before Black Friday, only to lower them to the original price once the sale starts to make it feel like you're saving money. As a result, people in the comments were saying things like this is why they never go Black Friday shopping, and that stores have been doing this for years and we are just now catching on.
The first time I was brought on an Andromedan mothership, and they are 900 miles in diameter. Okay. They are completely self-contained worlds. Everything they need is there. I had to wear a belt so that it would keep my physicality together, so that I could spend this time with them. With the very first time I walked on, and in the middle of, they're made up of different levels. The craft I was on had 24 different levels. And in the middle of these craft, there is a 21 mile by 21 mile park with trees and everything, okay? And they use extensive technology and holographs. And they can literally create their sunrise, their sunset. Okay, and the trees and plants grow because it is a holograph, but it is real, even though they're creating it with technology. The very first time I walked on, there were children. They teach their children in the middle of these parks. Everything's done in nature, like very much like the Native Americans used to do. You know, when the teepee got too small. And I walked on, and there were a bunch of children there. And as we walked out of a corridor, down a corridor, and out, into this huge space of what looked like, could be anywhere, like Agora Hills or someplace out here, a park. The children moved away from me. And I was like really hurt, you know, I was like, oh man. And Mornay immediately picked up what I was feeling, and he said, it isn't you, we have been teaching them about your race. It's really not all that funny. Okay, they were afraid of us. You know, and these are children I have never seen before, but immediately felt our energy, my energy, because I represented all of us. You know, and I do the best I can, sorry. I mean, but you know, I got my own stuff to work out too. So, you know, they're learning, and I'm amazed that they, you know, they still want to come back and help. Another time I had been waiting for them. They finally showed up, and as I was walking into the control room, I was being led by another Andromedan. Mornay was looking at a bunch of meters on the wall and some monitors measuring our atmosphere, and he looked really sad. So I said to him, I said, what's the matter? And he just pointed to the atmosphere and he goes, don't they understand that it's here because they needed it? They don't understand our suicidal tendencies. They don't. I guess they have the perspective that we should really know better. I don't know where they got that. So, I mean, that's just one of them, you know. Another time, Visayas was watching television on the ship. They were picking up television. And I told him that's not a good idea. Even on Earth, that's not a good idea. And he had been watching a news broadcast about a shooting in Chicago. That's what it was, where a cop shot a man, a black man, and then rushed over and tried to save his life. He had a hard time understanding why the policeman would try to take the life and then try to save it. He didn't understand the contradiction, and I don't know that they've still clearly dealt with that. You know, our reality that we know, that we accept as reality, is extremely foreign to a lot of other different races. They simply don't understand it, and there's like no way we could really truly rationalize it to them. when they truly come from a space of unconditional love or mutual respect. And I have not done a good job in explaining it to them, because when I really stopped to think about it, it didn't make any sense to me at all, either. So, as Val would say, it's time for a new paradigm. And I guess that's what Ramtha is doing, teaching all of you and those before you and those to come after you. I've given a lot of thought to our race and the character issues, and I just want to share with you some of my thoughts on the human race and about people. A lot of this comes from my own experience dealing with us. A human being whose heart shows no passion is a person who doesn't have a life. A human being who doesn't give from his heart or her heart is a person who will lie to you. I've had to learn that the hard way. A human being whose heart is committed to nothing is a person who will not try, who will only take. A human being who is not willing to risk or take chances for love is a person who is absolutely empty inside. They're already dead. They're just sucking up air. I've come to this conclusion because of my relationship with Morine and Sayas. I absolutely love these two beings. They are my fathers, my brothers, my friends. And, you know, in some respect, even my sons, because I've had the opportunity to teach them.
Dude, that's Starlink! That's Starlink! Dude, come here. Dude, it's a bunch of satellites. Come here. Dude, it's a whole bunch of satellites. Here. Point this at it, please. Just make
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. That's like a star fleet.
Dude, it's a whole train of them.
That's crazy. What are they doing, man?
What is that? Satellites. That one is so small, though. That's the smallest train I've seen. That is so cool. Whoa. The UFOs! Whoa! Oh, dude! Whoa, look at it now! Holy crap, it's so bright! East, southeast. Whoa! It feels crazy. Dude, that is so cool. And oh, look, they're disappearing now. Whoa. What's happening?
No, the arc of the sun, the setting sun. Oh, that's what it was illuminating. Okay. So now the arc is past the arc. That makes sense, so you don't see it anymore.
Is that what it is, bro?
There's no,
Are you sure they're not jumping into a different dimension? Wow, we're gonna watch the whole pass. It's gonna be pretty short. Maybe 3 minutes until it disappears. Whoa, look at them split up. Oh my god, that's so weird. Guys, if you have never seen this in real life, it is one of the coolest things.
He woke up at 6 a.m. when
when he heard the death rattle. A man by the name Mark was sitting next to his dad Joe during his final moments of life.
This is a video of the last few minutes of Dad's life. Mom had been with him throughout the night and heard the death rattle, but she went on to bed, and suddenly I woke up at 6 o'clock, talked to Mom and said, I think it's the very end. I sat down with him and held his hand, and you can hear the death rattle.
As Mark begins to sing to his dad Amazing Grace to help him pass on, this happens. What looks like a speck of light can be seen leaving his body moments after his last breath. It can later be seen next to his son Mark as it flies up and vanishes. Mark believes this was the spirit of his father Joe crossing over.
This is from Fox News. A secret phone surveillance program is spying on millions of Americans. How the government is able to track your every call and invade your privacy. It says, imagine that every time you make a phone call, someone is keeping an extraordinarily detailed record of the call. They are tracking who you are talking to, when, where, and for how long. And they don't stop there. They also track the calls of people you talk to, the people they talk to, and so on. Jesus. This is the reality of millions of Americans who use AT&T's phone network. Now, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not subscribed to AT&T at all. But my phone is an Android. So let's say, for instance, I'm talking about chicken, right? And then I get on my phone, on the internet, or even Facebook. Next thing I know, there's an ad for Popeyes. My son's like Transformers, the toys. So I can be talking about Transformers with him. Next thing I know, there's an ad for Transformers. So we're all being trapped in one way or another. So according to the letter obtained by Wired, a little-known surveillance program called Data Analytical Services, DICE for short, has been secretly recording and collecting and analyzing more than 1 trillion domestic phone records within the U.S. each year. 1 trillion, Jesus. The program, which was formerly known as Hemisphere, is run by telecom giant AT&T in coordination with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. Interesting. The program uses a technique known as chain analysis, which targets not only those in direct phone contact with the criminal suspect, but anyone with who individuals have been in contact with as well. That means that innocent people who have no connection to any crime can have their phone records swept up and scrutinized by authorities. Interesting. The program allows law enforcement agencies to access the records of any calls that use AT&T's infrastructure, which covers a large portion of the country. The record includes phone numbers, dates, times, durations, locations of calls, as well as names and addresses of subscribers. What the fuck? Alright. First off, we all know they're tracking us. I remember during the summer of this year, maybe it was all on TV, oh, TikTok must go, TikTok is tracking Americans. Well, motherfuckers, TikTok is tracking Americans, so is Facebook, so is Instagram. We're being tracked by all places, dude. We're all being tracked.
If you put 100 black ants and 100 red ants in a jar, nothing will happen. But if you shake the jar, the ants will start killing each other. Red ants will believe black is the enemy, while black ants believe red is the enemy. But the real enemy is the person who shook the jar. Same is true in our society. Before we start to fight each other, we must ask ourselves, who shook the jar?
Let's make Vanity top dazzling. Look at that. Lumistone can be used as tables, countertops, vanity tops, and even stairs. Lumistone makes every natural stone a unique work of art. Which one do you like? Well, if you want to be our agent or global partner, you know how to find me, right? Let's make Vanity Top